Welcome back to another video. Today for dinner I am making some stewed chicken back, and I'm also going to be making some Callaloo seasoned rice. So I'm going to start off by cleaning up the chicken back. I'm going to clean out the bloody areas. There's not much skin to take off. I'm going to cut off the majority of fat, and I'm going to cut off the end of the tail. Just go ahead and clean up your chicken back how you normally clean it up. Some people like to cook it with the skin on it. I don't, but do whatever pleases you. Okay, so after cleaning this up, I am going to rinse it properly with some lemon and vinegar, and then we're going to proceed to seasoning. These chicken back will make you appreciate Jamaican chicken back way more, because the chicken back that I get in Jamaica has a lot more meat on it, to be honest. So you can cut it in four or two. In my case, I cut it in two because it wasn't a lot of meat on the chicken. So it makes no sense to cut it in four. So I thought the camera was on when I was pouring the seasoning on the chicken, but these are the seasoning that I use. I used the all-purpose seasoning, and I'm going to also use cayenne and black pepper. That's the only four things that I use on the chicken back. It's mainly bone, so you can't use too much seasoning on it, otherwise it will be salty. Alright, so now I am going to go ahead and just massage the seasoning in, and I'm going to pour a little browning on it as well, not too much. If you don't want to use the browning, you can just burn a little brown sugar and just go ahead, and it's basically the same thing. Alright, so now we are gonna go ahead and we're gonna pour this in our heated oil. I have my Dutch pot on the stove. There's still some fat on the chicken back, so I'm not gonna pour too much oil, just a little, and then we're gonna sear the chicken back. Gonna sear it for about 5 minutes before adding some water, and I'm not gonna add too much water because this doesn't take a very long time to cook. For the searing process, I kept the stove on medium to high heat, and I just stir it occasionally. Alright, so after about 5 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and I have some scallion and garlic and pepper that I'm gonna blend up. I'm gonna grind it up, and then I am going to add it to this, as well as some pimento seed. I will also be adding some chocho in the stew. If you have never tried it, please go ahead and give it a try. It's really nice, especially when you're making chicken back and there's not much meat on it. It's mainly bone. You can go ahead and add the chocho. It helps with the body of the stew. So for my grinded seasoning, it was scallion, onion, and garlic and peppers. Alright, so now I am going to go ahead and I'm going to pour just a little bit of water on there, and I'm going to go ahead and cover it while I get my chocho ready. If you go into an Asian store, the name of chocho, as we call it in Jamaica, is known as shayot. Shayote. I think I've mentioned it before in a video when I was making soup. So they have so many similar items as us Jamaicans. It's just a different name. And it's funny how when I was a child I used to pick this out of the soup and throw it away. I never like it. But now I enjoy it, whether it's in soup or stew. It's just delicious. So after peeling, I just go ahead and remove the core, and then I'm just going to cut it up in cube size. So I'm going to go ahead, pour it on the pot. I'm also going to be adding Scotch bonnet pepper, and I'm also going to add some thyme and the pimento. Alright, so I'm going to turn the stove down on low and allow this to cook slowly while my chocho tenderize. You can add a little bit of water if you realize that your water is drying out, but I'm just going to go ahead and put my stove on low and use this same liquid to steam it down. So as soon as the liquid reduces, I go ahead and add my butter bean. Alright, if you don't have to add any butter bean if you don't want to, but just to fancy up the dish a little bit, and I love butter bean, but if you don't want it in there, that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my stove back up to medium to high and allow the butter bean to absorb the chicken gravy, and basically that's it. It's all done. So now I'm gonna move on to cooking the rice. I have some callaloo in the freezer. I defrost it and I'm gonna go ahead and cook it up. So I'm gonna saute some scallion and onion. That's all I'm gonna add for now. Later on I'll add some scotch bonnet pepper and thyme. Alright, so after sauteing my scallion and onion, I'm gonna go ahead add my callaloo. I'm not gonna cook the callaloo fully. I'm gonna cook it halfway through and it will finish cook while the rice is cooking. And if you guys haven't seen my callaloo and ackee seasoned rice, you can go ahead and check it out. I probably just leave a link for it in the comment section so that it's easier for you to find it. Alright, so go ahead and add some flavor to your callaloo. Any seasoning that you normally use, whether it's vegetable seasoning, chicken seasoning, all purpose, whichever one is suitable for you, go ahead and use it, but just don't use too much because we're going to be adding a little salt, alright, when we're ready to cook the rice. So I have some coconut blending. I'm going to strain it off and I'm going to add my coconut milk to the callaloo, and I'm also going to add a little bit of water. Alright, so I'm also gonna go ahead and add my scotch bonnet pepper and thyme and just allow this to come to a boil and then add my rice. Alright, I'm gonna add a pinch of salt as well, but you can go ahead, taste the pot, see what it needs before adding your rice. So now that it's boiling, you can see that nice coconut custard. I'm gonna add my rice and I'm gonna turn the stove down and allow it to cook slowly. So to go with my seasoned rice and my chicken back, I also have some vegetable that I'm stir frying. I think I'm gonna post it first, so if you missed it, you can go back and watch the video. Let me tell you that this trio, the chicken back, the stir fry, and the callaloo seasoned rice, it was just perfect. I can't wait for my husband to come from work and realize that this is what I cook because he loves chicken back. That man loves chicken back so much. So thank you guys so much for watching, and please go ahead and try this entire plate. Just try it and let me know because I know you're going to come back and say, wow, it's amazing. All right. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys, and I'll see you in my next one.